What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta be honest with you guys. Even though I can acknowledge the fact that Battlefield 2042 has improved as an overall title and overall game, we're still going through a pretty dark time right now. I enjoy the mid-season events. I enjoy some of the game modes. But I have to be real. The way they are handling Battlefield as a whole, with all of this stuff across the board, it's a little rough, and it's a lot of stuff that I have to go ahead and discuss because the community itself isn't going in a great direction when it comes to casual fans, content creators, even people who are covering news and just wanting to, indulge themselves in Battlefield. They love the franchise. Things are just not looking very bright at the moment. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and hop into the topic of today's video, if you do enjoy what you hear today and want to hear some more commentaries revolving around Call of Duty Battlefield or even X-Defiant, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button. And last but not least, if you guys do want to check out any of my other content like live streams, I do stream every day besides Sundays over on Kick, so we will be back on Monday. But if you guys want to check that out, the link to that channel is down in the description of this video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield Bulletin, one of my personal favorite news sources on Twitter, went ahead and put out a tweet that I think a lot of us can kind of relate to, and at the same time, it's extremely depressing to see. But it went ahead and said, "Hi everyone, just wanted to give you an important update from me today. I decided to take an extensive break until the next Battlefield title is announced due to the lack of gameplay content in Battlefield 2042 and the low involvement in the last few months. This means, in my personal opinion, if this is true and they're not going to come back anytime soon, that means they're not going to be coming back for the Hourglass remake, they're not going to be coming back for the potential next season and new content. They're just going to be thrown in the towel until the next Battlefield game." And honestly, rightfully so. Battlefield 2042, again, like I said, we can acknowledge that it has improved. It's become a better game. But the way that they handled these updates, the way they handled this game as a whole, they claimed that they wanted to go ahead and bring it back to life, which they kind of did. But when it comes to treating it like any other AAA developed massive game nowadays, they're a little behind. I have to be real. Putting it up against the other massive games that it should be competing with, stuff like Call of Duty, or even some of the other battle royales like, Apex, Fortnite, all these other games. And the funny thing about it is that Apex is owned by EA as well. So you would think that under the same umbrella, they would kind of, bounce around things of that, similar format. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they will handle the next Battlefield title a lot better. But currently, right now at 2042, everything is pretty dry. Everything across the board when it comes to content, updates for the actual game itself. And nowadays, in this current day of gaming, that's kind of unacceptable. Again, I'm going to use them as an example, Call of Duty, and I talk a lot of crap about Call of Duty, and I still think Battlefield 2042 is more fun to play than Modern Warfare 2 2022. But man, at least in their mid-season event, we got another map in the rotation. And even though it's not that much content and we're still struggling, I still feel like there's more things going on within Call of Duty to get people talking about it, get people active. Even if it's not stuff that I personally like, because I'm a 6v6 guy, and a lot of the stuff going on with, Modern Warfare 2 is all Warzone related, all the cool new stuff. But at the end of the day, it gets people talking about COD. It keeps the game active, it keeps it interesting. And whether it's good interest or bad interest, people are still talking about it. Battlefield 2042, on the other hand, or just the whole Battlefield franchise in general, it's just nothing really to get you back and talking. Now, I kind of did enjoy the mid-season event, but again, the interactions with this mid-season event, the hype with this mid-season event, it just wasn't there. Battlefield should be on a whole nother level and a whole different tier. And again, I understand that Battlefield 2042 isn't for everybody, and not a lot of people are going to come back. They already completely ruined their first impressions with a lot of individuals out there. It's too late. But at the end of the day, it should be some more talk about Battlefield. Like I said, all those games across the board. If there's no content, there's probably updates to the metas or updates to the actual game itself, nerfs, buffs, patches, bug fixes, all of the above. Just things to keep things interesting. Even collabs, whatever it is. I don't know. Fortnite, Apex, Call of Duty, hopefully even X-Defiant, are going to keep things interesting across the board. I shouldn't even say maybe X-Defiant. Yes, X-Defiant, because they have been keeping things interesting. Even when the game isn't out, there's still sometimes stuff to talk about and stuff to keep the community interested with the game. Always. Oh, there's always something. Battlefield, sadly, there's not. We could be adding in more Portal-style weapons, OG games, more Portal maps, new maps just in this as well, But we don't really get much when it comes to Battlefield. If you really think about it, we only get, one map and a few weapons per every season? And sometimes one of the few weapons is, a sidearm, so it's not even that crazy, even though the Deagle is really awesome to use this season. But, in other words, it's not really that crazy. Usually you're looking for some ARs, SMGs, and stuff like that. You get 2 to 3 weapons a season. Sometimes we don't even get vehicles. We didn't even get a vehicle this season. They don't have any other priorities. They don't have a battle royale to focus on. They're barely focusing on their extraction mode, even though they put out some updates for it. They're barely focusing on that. All they have to do is just make sure the all-out warfare, game mode is prioritized. Vehicles, weapons, maps. And again, I understand that they're rehashing the rest of the maps and trying to get them worked up, but the last one is Hourglass. That's it right now. You would think at this point in time, they would be able to become a lot more active. A lot more active, but sadly, they're not. Again, like I said, Call of Duty, we even get not even just a map in the mid-season event, we get another weapon in the mid-season event, on top of the weapons we've already gotten. And again, I'm not trying to defend Call of Duty whatsoever. We should be getting way more than what we're getting in Call of Duty. But at the end of the day, that's more than what we got with a season in Battlefield. I know I'm always going to hear the same thing. These maps are much bigger. It's going to take a lot longer. But again, they don't have any other priorities. And EA is made out of a lot of money. I know that the team working on, the after game, content and stuff like that is not the same team who develops up the game. Well, it's the same people, of course, but, it's not you don't have the whole development cycle working on the mid-season events going on here. They're on to the next game. And the same thing happens with other franchises like Call of Duty, for example, The main development team makes the game, and then they have a second team, a second set of people who are going to sit there and support it throughout its whole life cycle. So, I don't think they deserve that much of an excuse for, not having as much manpower, because EA has a lot of money. They have the resources. And if they don't have the manpower, then that's an EA problem. They need to hop on that and make sure that they're backed up enough to produce, enough stuff to make sure that this quote-unquote live service, because we're in the live service era, I hate it, but, we have to go along at this point. But, we need just a better live service for Battlefield. I appreciate the work they do when it comes to the podcasts, and they have gotten a lot better with communication. But at a certain point, I really do think things are falling off here. Seriously, how long are people going to last when the Hourglass rework comes in? I'm definitely going to hop in. I'm definitely going to play it. And again, as a content creator who enjoys playing Battlefield, I will still be dabbling in. I'm still going to be trying to find things to talk about and, playing the game and making content. But as a casual individual, how long are you going to really play? You're going to hop on, you're going to see how Hourglass is. You might play 2 to 3 games on Hourglass because the games last a decent amount of time, and you'll probably be done. Maybe they'll add in the LMG, bloom effect so we can mess around with the LMGs and see how they work. But other than that, it's nothing really to keep you too interested. There should be full teams set aside working on weapons, vehicles, and putting up challenges and stuff of that sort to grind out these things. Every update that comes out should, give something intriguing, and even more important, in between the updates, there should be things also trickling out as well. Imagine an open community server where they're testing out all the bloom effects on SMGs, LMGs, marksman rifles. That's actively going on that you can hop in and assist with. Or, like I said, maybe weapons being introduced mid-season to, help out with the content. Give us something a little interesting to test out, and also another weapon to add to the meta, to maybe even add some new adjustments that could be worked throughout the next month. Anything. Anything at all. And I also understand that sometimes there's nothing that could be done. There might be a week where there is nothing. There might be a couple of weeks where it's barely anything at all. It might be something out there. It might be a patch update, but, I understand. But Battlefield can almost go a month plus with the bare minimum. The bare minimum. And then when, an event, like, as you saw recently with the Battlefield 2042 mid-season event drops, it's not even hyped up enough to really get, that much of an influx of people back into the scene. Again, I do chalk that up to the game just not being that popular and people wanting a better Battlefield game. But honestly, even with a newer Battlefield game, I really do think the way they handle this one, if they handle a newer Battlefield game like that, it's not going to turn out good. Hopefully, things will change up. The next title will be more active. And fingers crossed things will turn out good. And fingers crossed things will turn out good for Battlefield 2042 as well. I understand a lot of people don't want this game to succeed, but there's not much else to do until the next Battlefield game drops. I'll be honest with you. So to see a more steady flow of entertainment coming out of this game in the future would be really nice, especially with all the previous maps being reworked now. There's not much else for them to do. Their main priority is just adding stuff in at this point and, polishing, nerfing, buffing, the usual stuff. Which, even though it's a small team, it's still a small AAA developed team, EA, cough up some more money and get things happening. And, make the Battlefield community feel like they're actually wanted a bit. But, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, bump, hit it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Also, in chat with this do so, I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, you want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, link this in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.